Okay, so let me share my screen.
Sure. I'm mute. If you need anything, just let me know. Okay?
Okay, no problem. So hello everyone. We are going to start with our Salesforce Developer Training session 3 today. So as all you know me, my name is Sneh. I'm working as a Salesforce developer as a cool idea. And this event has been actually done by these our uh, event organizers, Rimsha and Hassan Mustafa. Uh, the topic that we are going to cover in this event today is are the Apex in LWCs. That how can we use Apex in LWCs and what kind of different ways are there. Then we have event communication, how the LWCs communicate using events. Then we have custom labels, navigation services, lighting message service. So let's start with Apex and LWCs. So currently there are two ways to use Apex and LWCs. One is wire decorator, which I have covered in previous sessions, and then we have an imperative call. So this topic here is just a recall of the previous topics that we covered in the previous sessions. So I'm going to show a demo how we can call Apex in LWCs and how we can use that. So as you can here see in the app LWC recipes, there is a tab of Apex. So in this page, there are multiple LWCs with every kind of every method and with the different criterias to explain the Apex wire method or Apex imperative method, how these run. So let me just show you its code, how these are working. So let's go with the wire functionality first. So as you can see, the one we are now checking out is the Apex wire method to property. So wire is actually it is a decorator by which you can easily call any Apex method into LWC and use that to manipulate the data, display the data, show it on the screen. So Apex method to property, which means that we have called the Apex method using the wire, and this wire will run as soon as this component is loads into the DOM, and the first lifecycle loop that will run will be the wire. This will run before the connected callback, and this contact is just a property. You can use this contact property in the HTML template with the conditions if the data is there, and it will render on the data, and it will display all the contacts that are there. If there is any error, it will show its error. Let me show you how the Apex method will get exposed to the LWC so that it can be used by wire. Let's go to this Apex controller, and as you can see here are the methods get contact list. So in order to expose your Apex method to your LWC, you have to add this annotation of aura enabled so that it can be easily used by LWC and the aura components as well. So there are options to mark cacheable true or false. This depends on if you want to cache the data in your LWC. If you by default this is false, or you can separately make it true as well. So this is the way to use wire function with the property. You can also use this method to write as a function. So let's say you want to manipulate the data or you want to view the data in the logs. So by this method, you can easily create a wire. So as you can see here, I just have called the wire function here using the same name as the Apex method, and added a separate method name as a wire contact. This method name can be anything. This is just written for my understanding. You can add the parameters here, the error and the data. As soon as this function runs, this Apex method will return the data and the error if there are any. Then we will check if there is isn't data. Then we will populate this uh, local variable with contacts, and then we will render the same component as we did earlier. Now here we do not are directly using the property. We are just using a local variable of contacts, and this is the data that is being displayed, and we have logged this data. You can also view this data. If you want to like manipulate the data, you can write your custom logic here. Then functions have a lots of parameters depending on the use cases. So how would we pass the parameter from LWC to Apex using wire methods? So there are different criteria to like use that. So here is an example to find contacts, and I am just giving it a some text search text, so to find a contact by name. So let's say I'm adding a name here, and it will pass search key parameter to find contacts. So let me show you how this is working. Let's open this one. So search contact find contacts is the Apex method, which is taking in a parameter of a string search key, and it is adding a filter on the name as the name like, and adding a search key here, so that if I search, let's say RIM, it will give me a contact specifically. If there is a contact for Rimsha, so it will give me a contact for that. So that's how it is running. This handle keychain is for the input that I'm passing. Let me show you this component on the screen. So here the component. Let's say I'm searching Aaron. So this component will call out to the wire method, and it will give me the result. So it depends. It can also give me the result if there are multiple outcomes that match in the query. So it also depends on that. And this dollar sign in the parameter passing the search key is actually there is a way to make it reactive. So whenever our this search key parameter, this search key get updated in any of our code, this wire will rerun. So as I'm writing a single digit, like a single character on like SA, so every time our wire will run, and it will fetch the data. So that's why in like search bars or different functionalities to search the actual database, the wire functionality is quite good, because it is a uh, reactive parameter acceptance functionality. So then it will run that way. Now there is a single parameter. There can be multiple complex parameters as well. So I'll show you that. So it can be you can also pass a full complex objects as well to the wire methods, and then you can receive a property and manipulate accordingly. So let's go to the next method, which will be imperative method. So one key difference between the wire method and imperative method is wire methods execution cannot be controlled. Its execution depends on the if there is a parameter, it will run on the reactivity. If the parameter values change, it will rerun. But imperative method depends on any action or event that we use. So let's say this component imperative method, let me show you the code. So this imperative method is running on the based on a button. So there is a button handle load contacts. As soon as I click on the load contacts, it gets the contacts. It runs the Apex method, and it creates a promise of then and catch. So and then we are getting the result, the actual result returning from the Apex, and we are passing it to the local variable of contacts, and it is being used in the um HTML. If there are any errors, it will populate the error object, and there will be error displayed on the HTML. So this handle load method is actual event which is running on the on click of the load contact buttons. So this is how imperative method runs. Both have different use cases. So let's say you want to refresh the data. So there is a refresh button. You can use the imperative method there. But if you have a search query, search bar, you want to searching. If you want to search anything and you want to the result to filter out in real time, then would have to go with wire method. Imperative method also have the same functionality to pass the parameters as well. It has a little bit of different way to pass the records. So here you can see the handle search is the same event. In here, handle search key change. So this will reflect the search key, change the search key, and you can pass the search key here. uh, this imperative method does not accept the reactivity, the dollar sign I showed you. This will accept the actual local variable, and it will run on the search button itself, it actual event itself. So let me show you this example on the UI. Apex imperative method with parameters. So this is the example. So as soon as I search, let's say I am searching for Gayatri. So let's say I search GA, then it's not searching in real time. You would have to click on the search button so that its event can call the Apex method. So this will run the accordingly. So this is the Apex ways of Apex using in the LWC so far. So let's go to the next topic, which will be the event communication. How actually the communication between the components does. So as we have reviewed the communication between parent to child component using the @ API decorator. So when we want to communicate to child to parent, so let's say I'm sending some data or some action or an object from child to parent, we would have to use event communications. So let me show you how this works. So here's an example of this component, event simple. Okay, so this is the component. It has two buttons, handle previous, handle next. What is it doing? There is a local variable of 1, and it is checking if this local variable or this page is actually 1 greater than 1. So it will decrement. If this page is there's no check on the next button, on the next it is just incrementing the page number. And what it is happening on the UI itself, there is a child component which is paginator, and it is accepting two parameters. One is the actual handle previous method, and then is the on next. Actually, what is happening on the on next and what is happening on the on previous. And we can see this child component has different functionalities. So the actual button on the UI itself is in the child component. So as soon as we click on this handle next, so this local event on gets fired on the child component, and this child actually fires a custom event naming next, and this next event gets catch in the parent, which is like this on next. We just add to on, and this the different the onward name is the actual custom event that we are using. Like here next, this is not something standard. This next is a custom event that we are dispatching here as a custom event. You can also pass the data with the event here, but I think this is just calling the next event here. And as soon as the parent gets the next event here, and it runs the local next event, runs the local next function is itself. So this is incrementing the uh, page number. So on the UI, if you click on the next button, the next and previous buttons are in the child. You can see here is the component. I click on this next, this will fire an event of a custom event called next, and this will run the local method of the parent, which will display the parent number here where 2 3. As soon as I click on the previous, this will decrement the number. So this is how the event communication runs. So there are different scenarios to, like, you can easily pass the data and you can do the event bubbling. So uh, I think this is quite simple. Let me just show you quickly how we can pass data with the event itself. So here we are using an wire to get the data, and then we have handle select. Okay, and there is a component of contact list item. Oh, let me just open this one, contact list item. And this component is displaying the picture and this name as itself. So it is also firing the event on the on select and passing the contact ID to the parent. And the parent will receive the contact ID from this event on select. The on select is not a standard event. On select on this component is a custom event. On the event fire of this on select, this will run the handle select, and on the handle select it is showing me the selected contact. So let me show you. As soon as I click on this list, this will this component will be displayed. So all these contacts are being displayed in the child component. As soon as I click in the parent component, as soon as I click on the one, this one, so the data will be passed to the child component, and during using the event, it will inform the parent to only show this component, this picture as well. So let's go to the next topic, which will be custom labels. So the custom labels are Salesforce for standard functionality to actually not hard code any text that can be easily configured. So, and it also supports the multilingual translations as well. So let me show you an example. Here you can see there is a component by LWC training bus name. So this actually, let me check if this is a, yes, I think this is a custom label. Uh, yes, let's get the name of this component. Uh, Apex static schema. Okay, let's open this one, Apex static schema. So as you can see here, I'm displaying a title here from the label, and the label itself is an object which is using a title. And then we have schema, and then we have here is the custom label. So this text actually is a custom label itself. So this is not hard coded. So if I just go to the custom label and make some changes, and this will be directly changed. So if there are, let's say you have a community site on a website on your site. So if you have lots of LWCs on that, if and they have a specific text, and they are in English by default, and your site is running worldwide with different regions, different countries. So your user would want to see the site in their local language, like in French, in Canadian French, in Egyptian, in different kind of languages. So by for that, if you want to translate that text, you have to use the custom label because it supports the multilingual translations. I'll show you how this works. Custom labels. Let me copy the name that I took here. This is the custom label. So if I just update this one, LWC training Basni and Rimsha. So, so from the basic config from this, we don't have to go to the code in order to update this text, and this will get updated. Let me refresh this one. I think why this is taking some time. Let me check this one first. Yes, this is updated now. I don't know why the UI is not. Oh, the login issue. I think we were here. So as you can see, this is updated now. And for the translations, I think that for that you would have to add the translations in the translation section. Let me show you that. If I just edit here, no, I think for translation we have to enable the translations first. Yes, translations. Yes, we have to enable the translations first. So when the translations are enabled, then we can go to the custom labels and add the translation to a specific custom label. Here it is. So you can add the translations. So once you have like activated the translations, you have to add do the configurations. Then you can easily add the translation in the related list here. Um, so far custom labels are for this thing. Then we are looking into the navigation service. So this is also a standard functionality provided by Salesforce in LWC. This is quite a good tool to like navigate to a from a LWC or different page or even a different LWC itself. So let me show you how this works. So let's open the navigation here. There's a tab in the LWC recipes for navigation. So there are different LWCs built here. You can see you can use this navigation service to navigate to anywhere you want to navigate. So let's say I want to navigate to let's say I want to navigate to a contact record. So it will test me navigate to the contact record of that is currently selected. If I want to navigate to a new contact with defaults, so this will actually display the modal of the modal of the contact. So you can also do these functionalities. You can also give it edit access, view access, recent. Go to the recent list view. You can navigate to the recent list view. You can navigate to a home page. So that's how the navigation. Let me show you how this is actually working. So the navigation, in order to use the navigation survey, you have to import the navigation mixing in the import section of the LWC. Then you would have to extend the navigation mixing class with the lightning element. Then there are different navigation mixing functionalities. You would have to use this, create a JavaScript method for navigate to home, and use this functionality from the navigation mixing library to navigate. And there are different types of pages where you want to navigate. So this is a named page, which is home attribute, and for different navigation there are different scenarios. If you want to add a filter here, you want to navigate to a contact list, so that's how a lightning navigation works. This use case can be added in any LWC if you want to navigate to a specific page or a URL. But the only limitation the navigation mixing is, it can only navigate to within the Salesforce. It cannot navigate with outside the Salesforce to any third party URL. So for the last thing is the lightning message service. So lightning message service is actually a pub sub based model. So this runs on actually a publisher and subscriber, and this is mostly used for the unrelated LWCs. So let me show you the example. Message service. So here I have two LWCs. They are both completely unrelated. They don't have any relation of parent and child. So I'm not calling the in one LWC in another LWC. These are both placed differently, separately. And how the Lightning message service is working here, as soon as I make any change, so this actual first component is actual a publisher, which is publishing the data, and second one is subscribing that data. So there are three parts of the Lightning message service. One is the messaging channel. In order to use the Lightning message service, you have to create the message channel for itself. Then the publisher will publish some data onto that, and that the subscriber that is subscribed will subscribe this. So here is example. This is the publisher. So let's say I'm passing the data here, Rimsha. Then the actual subscriber will receive the data here, and it will display it in the real time. So that's how the LMS service works for in the basic scenarios. There are multiple scenarios. Let's imagine the first component of this is a data table. I'm updating the data, and the second component is a graph, which is based on that data that is in the data table. So if I'm updating the data in the data table in real time, so the customer would want the graph below updates as well. So by creating the both components separately, we can make them scalable so that it can be the graph and the data table can be used separately in the different scenarios. But if they want to communicate to each other and they are not related, the LMS can be easily used here. So let me show you its code here. This one was, I think, the first LWC. Yes, this is the one. So in order to create the message channel, you would have to follow a documentation to create a XML file. So I'll share that file after the event. Let's say you have created a channel here. Let's say I've given the name is test LMS, and you would have to, in order to use the Lightning message service, you have to import its libraries from the publish for the publish and the message context itself. And after importing the channel itself, then we would go through how the functionalities are running. So for using the context, you would have to use a wire method to import and use the message context itself. So then after this functionality, you would have to publish the data itself. So they have created though they have not created a custom JavaScript method. They are using the render callback, because when as soon as the any data change is happening in the first name and the last name, they are basically using a publish method that we uh, imported from the actual message service, and they are passing the message context that we used, and the channel and the message itself. And the message, what is the message? They are constructing an object with the first name and the last name. Whatever the changes has been, this is the latest first name and the latest last name. They are just displaying it and is publishing the data. And let me show you the second subscriber component, second LWC, which is basically importing the same channel and the libraries to subscribe the channel, and it is same using the wire context it is. And then they have created a method of handle subscribe in the rendered callback, and the subscription what will do, they would they will use a subscribe method that we imported on the top, and using the channel there is a promise on this message, and they will run this message as an object here, and they will get the first name and the last name from this and pass it in the local parameters that is running in the second LWC, and display it in the real time. So as soon as the publisher publishes the message, the subscriber will instantly subscribe it and do its changing based on the logic itself. So that's how LMS is working. Let me show you a different example of LMS that I used in the super batch challenge of LWC. So there was a component that I had to build on this boards object. So not this one. I think this one. Yes. So this current board location, this is a map component. This is not related with any of these components. So as soon I click on any of this component, this component and this component both are running on the LMS channels. So this is actually the publisher. This is publishing that as soon as the my any of this tile is selected, any of the board is selected, this will publish the data. This will pass the board ID here, and this will display its detail here, its reviews, and the map location of it. So this is how the unrelated components are used, and this component is like reused anywhere because they are not tightly packed. That's why LMS is really good in such scenarios. That's it so far. Thank you. um, Rimsha, I think you can stop the recording now, and let please share any question if any questions are after this recording.
Thank you, Sneh. What I'll do, I'll schedule a call, a sync,
Okay.
maybe next week for the Q&A. Like if anyone has any questions from the community.
Okay.
So once we schedule a event, I also asking for the availability. So as we all are aligned, I'll schedule a sync for Q&A. So we should be good here.
Okay. Okay.
Thank
That's
you so much for sharing and recording this call. I really appreciate it.
okay. No problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Sneh.
Thank you. Thank you.